My family don't see me more, that's growing up. And now they're calling me C4, I'm blowing up. So if we sitting on seesaws, we going up. Some people get going, but I love it when the going's tough. Too young to know enough, too old to play the part, too cool for showing up, too dumb to say what's smart. So I'm a substitute, waiting for the game to start. But I ain't trying to get played like change your heart. Chuck Woolery, I host and rip the stage apart. And hopefully you're willing to admit that I have made my mark. And may I park and find me another ride. I'm letting foreigners tell you how I feel inside.
All right, this is the first interview of the Just Go With It podcast. My guest today is Mr. Kellen Gage. I've known him since I was, I don't know, 5 years old, something like that.
Yeah, I would probably say 5 years old is probably pretty good.
Probably pretty accurate.
Yeah.
This is sort of a random topic, but I was thinking about this today when I was checking out at Suddenlink, and I saw this dude, and he had sort of, like he had that balding patch in the back, but he had the front like, sort of, I don't know if he had gel or wax in it, but what is it? Do you know what it's called, like when they have the...
Like the ball in the back and like this, like kind of like the
there's
comb
a name.
over.
There's
like
a name for
over?
it though. I can't think of it.
Is it the comb over? Is it the comb over?
No, it's the.
It's like the reverse mullet.
No, I mean like he had just that little patch.
The ring of fire.
Maybe that's what it's called.
I think it's the ring of fire.
I don't know what it's called.
It.
Anyways, what made me think of it is like I have this fear a little bit of losing my hair, but then like if I was him, I think I would just have to
shave it all off.
Shave it off. Like I don't understand why you would want to keep it. I mean, like it. He was a well kept guy, but that just sort of threw it off.
I feel like if I come to that point, like it's probably gonna be bald. Like
you just
I'm just
cue ball
it.
it?
Yeah, I'm gonna shave it. Like there's no point.
But I mean, like I'm 30 and you're 30. I don't really see. Like I feel like it's in the distance. It's not like something that's gonna happen. Like, do you fear you're losing your hair?
No, I have pretty thick hair. My hairdresser tells me all the time.
But your dad had pretty thick hair too. Or did he?
My dad was bald.
He was cue bald.
But he had the ring of fire also.
Oh, he did.
And so yeah.
Well, my dad had a receding hairline, pretty bad. But I don't know when I think my mom told me he got it like when he was probably mid-30s. So I mean, if my time's coming, it's coming.
Yeah, if it comes, it comes.
If it comes, it comes. I guess. I don't know.
Just go with it.
Just go with it. That's right. So I figured we'd talk about a little bit about maybe childhood memories, since you're my longtime friend, and this is kind of my first go at it. But is there anything in particular when I mentioned that you thought that would be a good thing to talk about, or do you just go with it?
I think we should just go with it.
Just go with it.
Live by the podcast name.
Okay. One of the memories I was thinking of last night, as I was like thinking of like what I could talk about or what we could talk about, would be I don't know if you were there, but I had a girl over who will not be named, and we were at the pool house, and a bunch of guys climbed up on the top of the pool house.
Oh yeah, I was there for that. Yeah.
Was that you?
It was New Year's. It was New Year's night.
Yeah, and y'all were making fun of me because we were dancing.
Yeah, totally. Because we were waiting on you to come to our New Year's party, and you were like, "No, I'm gonna have a special New Year's."
Where was
party.
it at though?
It was at wasn't it at Matt Master's house? Wasn't it Josh's?
A house, and then we all stayed in the pool house, and that's sort of where the magic happened. We'd have people over, and then as we got up, well, first it was like a game house, and then it became like something else for people to come over, and
That's gonna sound really bad. It sounds like we're doing drugs back there.
well,
a little house, something like that.
well, it wasn't a drug house. It was a yeah, you know what I'm saying, one of those houses, and we always stayed the night over there, like on Friday nights or Saturday nights after a game, and Ozzy or Tyreek, he had his little Tiburon, and for some reason I guess he thought it'd be cool to go mudding in the backyard. So there was like this huge field behind the pool house, and he got stuck, and then my dad or somebody had to pull him out, and they were kind of pissed off about it, but not really. Not my dad wasn't. He wasn't ever really pissed about anything we did, but I don't know. That just I can just seem like, getting it stuck and then having to walk back. The shame. I don't know. You don't remember that?
I mean, I don't think I was there for that one. I really don't remember that. But Ozzy or Tyreek or whatever you want to call him, did some of the dumb things. I think we all did a little dumb things. Like the night that we all tried to run from the cops, and Steve said, "Hey, I got a great idea," and just hammers it to the floor, and we outrun the cops.
I was not with you guys on that, though.
Yes, you were.
I was not in the vehicle with you guys when y'all were running from the popo. I was not. I think I was at home. I was with you when we would. So this is sort of old news now because there's not a lot of people that grow cotton anymore, but we had these cotton bales that we would jump from. This sounds super like redneck. We would jump from cotton bale to cotton bale, and one night the ginners or whatever, my dad, he did a lot of work on cotton gins, okay, and so we had a cotton gin in our town, and every year, like in the fall, there would be like all these cotton bales, and then I guess we thought it was, I don't know, risque, or we were being outlaws or something by jumping from cotton bale to cotton bale. Well, one time, that's when I remember getting chased by the police on foot.
There was like 8 of us, and they were like, just split up. He can't catch us all, and so we all just went our separate ways.
Yeah, so it was like, I don't know.
Boy,
it was like Prison Break.
Yeah, if I tried to do that today, I wouldn't make it. I'd just let the cops come and take me.
Yeah.
I don't got the energy to run anymore.
Well, I don't think I got the body, man. That's one thing.
I don't have the stamina.
Well, speak for yourself on stamina, but my body, dude, it just is breaking down. I just remember growing up when I was, you sprain an ankle, you're back 2 days. You sprain an ankle now, you're back. You're in the hospital.
Maybe like a 20-minute ice bath, would get your ankle.
Oh yeah, you're solid after that. And then, now, I mean, you're looking at retirement. I mean, it's possible really retirement.
Yeah.
He's spraining an ankle, you're done, bro.
And we don't think about it, but I mean, we're like 30. We're not even to the point
dude,
of we're
30.
getting real old.
I didn't really when I hit 30. It wasn't like, some people say they had this sort of midlife crisis, not really a crisis, but sort of this awakening of God, I need to really get my stuff together. But I didn't really. I mean, when you hit 30, were you I don't know, did you feel any? I didn't feel any different.
I didn't really feel any different. I was just it's 30, whoop-de-doo, it's not that big a deal. I think after 21 and 25, your birthdays just kind of are
they sort of run together.
It is what it is.
I don't remember even what 28th birthday. I couldn't tell you what I did. I don't remember.
Me neither.
27th. To be honest, as of right now, I can't remember what I did on my 30th. I mean, so what did we do? I don't know.
I don't know what we did on your 30th. Did we go to the casino?
No, not on the 30th birthday. You good? Technical malfunction, a.k.a. wife calling.
No, it's not the wife calling. It's just some random number.
Might as well be the wife.
Might as well, because it ain't getting answered.
So, yeah, I never really, I don't know. I feel like it did. If you were to tell me, I would be here, for those of you who don't know, who are just listening, there's probably going to be 5 listeners to this. But that's okay. I own a tuxedo shop, and I started it like in 2012, so like 6 years ago. And like if you were to tell me like when I was in high school that I would be doing this, I don't know if I would have laughed in your face, but I'd have probably been surprised, you know.
I don't necessarily think that I would have been surprised coming from what, your mom has started. And
That's true.
And all that. You've always kind of had your hand in this kind of stuff, so.
Had my hand in it. Had my hand in the honey jar. But yeah, I think you made a good job choice decision. Like I never saw you, which you didn't, but I never saw you like doing the college scene. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like your style.
I think I made from what I have, I think
you
I
made a good choice.
I think I made a real good choice. UPS is a great company.
Plug for UPS.
Yeah, this is brought to you by UPS.
FedEx is garbage.
Yeah, get down with Brown. But I just think I made a really good choice. The pay is great. Benefits are awesome. They take care of me and my family. So
That's
from
really
what I
all that
had,
matters.
it's where and what I've come from growing up. It's a real good. It's real good.
But like, if you could rewind the clock, you think you would still do the UPS gig?
Yeah, I think I would. Like, I talk bad about it, but who doesn't talk bad about their job?
Everybody talks bad about the job every once in a while. Nobody's like, nobody wakes up every Monday and goes, "Oh my God, I just freaking can't wait to go to work."
Yeah, so I mean, I think I made the really good choice from what I did and where I come from and what I've come from.
But like, if you could go back and rewind the clock,
No, I
what would you like? Dream job.
Dream job?
Dream job.
I was never one of those kids that grew up thinking,
I'm gonna do this, or
yeah,
I'm gonna do
like I don't know. I've always talked about.
I think those people end up more unhappy though. Most of the time, not all the time, but like I feel like most of the time they say, I'm just gonna be this freaking surgeon or whatever. No one wants to go to school for 12 years or whatever it is. Like,
well, what I think it is that, excuse me, they set these unrealistic goals that they want to be like. They want to be an orthopedic surgeon, and there's nothing wrong with like being goal driven or anything like that. And if you become an orthopedic surgeon and you want to be hey, more power to you. But most of these people that go to these doctors programs are like, man, I just want to make it through and do internal medicine. I've got a buddy that's right now who wanted to be an ears, nose, and throat doctor,
right?
And now he's just wanting to be an internal medicine doctor because he
right.
just wants to get it over with. And I think it takes a real drive and commitment to actually do this specialized.
Well, I mean, you better know. That's what I would think. Like you better you can't just be 5 years in and go, it's really not for me. You pretty much. Like, you better, if you're going to be a doctor.
You better go from the beginning.
Yeah.
But like you were saying earlier, what if I could rewind the clock and do, I think every kid that grows up playing sports wants to be a professional athlete. And, that's just out the window.
Well, at one time we all thought, I thought I was going to play professional basketball. And you thought.
I was going to play professional baseball,
right.
Yeah,
so.
But, I've always thought about, I kind of wanted to join the Army when I graduated.
Really?
Yeah, I just
You did talk about that.
I did.
That's deep in the memory, but I think I remember you telling me.
Yeah, and so, I just, I guess at the end of the day, I just really didn't have the balls to enlist.
I don't know if it's the balls. I just think, well, maybe you didn't. I don't know. Maybe you didn't have the balls. I don't know. I never wanted to do that. Anytime those Army recruiters came by the school, I was like, nah. Not for me.
See, I would like
you
entertain. I would entertain them. Yeah,
you would talk about it.
Yeah, I just because my respect for the military and and the cops and all that. That's way up there for me. And
well, that's sort of gone in the pot with not to chase a rabbit, but we're talking about the cops or whatever. I feel like in today's society, that people. They could. That job is dangerous. Let's just be for real. Every day.
Oh,
I mean, you got your cousin. Was he state trooper or is he just?
No, he's a state trooper.
State trooper. Like, every day, there is a chance he could get shot. And I don't think, some people just think, oh, it's just, they're police brutality. Well, yeah, that does exist. Okay, we can acknowledge that exists. But another thing that they don't take into account is every time this dude pulls someone over, there's a possibility there's going to be a dude with a gun. And let's just be real.
Yeah, I mean, people talk about like profiling people and all that right there. Well, their job is
That
profiling.
happens.
Their job is profiling. They don't know when you walk up if you have a gun or not,
Not a freaking clue.
or if
dude.
you're gonna be calm, or if you're gonna be nervous or anything like
Cracked
that.
out.
Yeah, I mean, these guys don't know when they pull you over. I mean, they're just out there doing their job, and like, it's the people that freak out. Like,
Well, there's this whole like outrage. I feel like people, everybody wants to one up each other about being outraged. I don't think anybody's really outraged. I think some people maybe are, but for the most part, I think it's just more of like a social media. Let me show you how mad I am. I'm not really mad, but I just want to show other people how mad I am.
somebody a story topper, I guess you can kind of say.
Maybe I'm gonna. Well, I saw this one clip, and I won't say. I don't even know who they were, so I can't say. But they were talking about how she was making a Facebook post, and this was probably like 6 months ago. She made a Facebook post about the guy that pulled her over, who was like a state trooper. And in some states, I don't know if it's in Arkansas, but in some states they make you wear like body cams now. I don't know if they do that here.
I don't think they do that here. I've never seen him wear a body cam.
But to prove, like, a lot of these social rights activists would want them to wear body cams because they wanted to show all this police brutality and all this other stuff. Well, she said she got pulled over and she was being profiled and all this other stuff because, for whatever reason, X, Y, and Z. And she completely lied. She made up this whole story about when she got pulled over, he told her that, she was, insert bad comment here. She told her she was whatever. And then she got a lot of good publicity. Everybody was like, yeah, we. And then this police department released the body cam footage. It was like completely opposite. Like she was totally like subservient and like, what am I being pulled over for? Well, speeding. He didn't say anything she said.
Yeah, and I just fear that's what society is today. It's like they all want something from somebody.
Want to be the victim, play
Yeah.
victim mentality.
Yeah.
Which, again, there are people living out on the street.
Yes.
There are victims.
Yes.
But if you're driving a car, and this is sort of a random topic, but I read a statistic. You know how people always talk about the 1%, like
Oh yeah.
if we just give tax the rich, whatever, then everybody would have their fair share. I read a statistic where if you earn $34,000, which I think we would fall into that category a year,
Yes.
you're in the top 1% in the world.
Oh yeah,
which is
definitely.
a crazy thought. Like, so if you have a car, I forget what the number is, but I'm gonna say it's like 90% of the world doesn't even have a car. And to think that, me and you have, I know I have one. I know you have one.
Yeah.
I know your wife has one. I know my wife has one. So I don't know. Go ahead.
I think they look at it as the 1% of America, and it's not 1% of the world, like because
or the elite of the elite.
Yes.
Like the 1% of the 1%. Which is a very small number anyway.
Totally.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's kind of crazy how, I feel like things have changed because of Facebook, because of all these, social media. I just remember when I first got my phone and it had Snake on it, I was solid. I was good, bro.
Bro, I can remember. Excuse me. I can remember when the first like colored flip phones came out. Like it had color to it. It wasn't that green color.
Yeah, that booty green.
Yeah, I mean
background with just Snake.
Yeah.
When you upgraded to that color, bro.
Bro, you were high class at that point in
that was
life.
top notch.
Like that was the thing, because we had like. But there's one thing I do miss about those old Nokias with the booty green color, unbreakable,
Flush
and
them
the
down the toilet.
battery lasted
forever. Yeah,
for days. I can remember in high school.
But that was a honking battery, though.
That was. I mean, it was like 3 inches long or maybe longer.
It was pretty big.
But I can remember in high school, or high school or junior high.
When did you first get a cell phone? Were you about 7th, 8th?
I think it was the summer between 7th and 8th grade. I think my parents kind of went in and got me one of those brick Nokias. Yep. But I can remember like leaving it like off the charger for like days, and it still had power.
Still solid.
Yeah. But now today you can't.
You can't last a day. It seems like mine's less and less. Like let me see what mine is right now. I hadn't even barely touched it. We're at 57% right now.
48%.
48%. Barely even touched it. But it's so crazy how they can make all these other things better, but the battery, I have a suspicious thought.
Well, I don't know if it's the actual battery or not. I think it's the amount of applications.
Maybe, yeah, because you just had Snake.
Yeah, because back in the day, really all you
download apps.
All you did was call, and I mean, you weren't even sending text messages back then, bro. Like, you were calling.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. You
were calling and playing Snake. That was it. That was my life.
Yeah,
from
and then
there
wasn't there like a brick game?
I think there was like, it was kind of like Pong, I would want to say, with the little thing.
Yeah.
Boop, boop, boop. But, I mean, today you've got, you've got Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you've got you've got fantasy sports, you've got your Yahoo apps, you've got Target, Walmart, McDonald's.
Bogs it down.
Yeah, and I mean, you spend so much time on those.
We're
apps.
talking like we know though, we got these apps. That's what's causing all this.
Well, I'm just saying.
I don't know. I feel like they figured it out.
That's probably a pretty good assumption. Is that?
Yeah.
I mean, you look back in the day when we were driving.
Okay.
When we first started driving, how many people would text and drive?
Yeah, I never did. I mean, you didn't really get, if you got a couple text messages as a day, you were like pretty pumped.
Yeah, pretty popular. But now, like, we talk about UPS and me driving around and
the phone is like attached to your hand.
Yes, now in today's and I see it all the time. And I've text and drive and as well. You should not text and drive. let me just point that out. But like
only at a stop sign though, right? That's the only time you really bring. Only at a stoplight. That's the only time you do it.
Well, I mean, I do it at a stoplight. Like if I or not a stop sign, but a stoplight.
Yeah.
But when I'm driving my UPS truck, like I don't do it at all.
Right.
Like
make that clear.
Yeah, let's just make that clear. I don't want to get in trouble by UPS. But driving around this town, and I see people all the time like texting and driving, swerving into lanes, like, and. I mean,
well, they say, I don't know who they are, but I did read somewhere where it's like, which I don't know if I buy this. You're just as you're like more dangerous than an alcoholic who's, drunk driving. I don't know if I buy that. I mean, do you feel, I don't know, maybe if you're always looking down.
I mean,
I've seen someone literally pass me on the road looking down though, like going 75 miles an hour, and somebody passed me looking at their phone, and I'm just like, I can't do that. I don't got that confidence.
Bro, they don't care. They don't care. People, hey, you're in their way, man. And that's another thing, like, about society today. We're all caught up in these phones and these.
Yeah. It's really hard to. I don't know what to think of it. I do have this sort of nostalgia for going back to being a teenager and only having the flip phone. But then again, once I've sort of tasted the wine, I don't know if I would want to go back.
Yeah, could you? I mean, I get what you're saying, but
I think
you live with it?
I think the only way I could go back is if everybody went back. Like if everybody one fell swoop just decided. I don't know why they would do that, but if everybody was like, "Hey, remember that Motorola flip? Let's go back to that." I think I'd be all right.
Take me back to the Nokia, man.
Yeah, I remember my dad first got that Motorola flip though. I was like, man, that flip. There's something about that flip.
I want to say that was like the first. I can remember
Yeah.
specifically like you getting that Motorola flip with
that raise
with
that
the
razor
with the basketball
cover.
skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can remember that.
That's enough. Yeah, dude. It was all about. We went from Snake to what ringtone you got, brother? What ringtone you gonna hit me with? You hit that Bluetooth.
yeah. What you got? And what made the razors so popular when they come out is you could like
sync them.
Well, that and you could like for your text message, I could put like let's say like what was popular back in 2004 about temperature by Sean Paul or something like that. Yeah, big dog.
You could send it in a text
well, no,
message.
you could, you could, and then you could put it in one of your files, but you could like put it as your text message. So when you texted me, that song played, and you could do something for somebody else.
Yeah,
so you knew who that specific person was.
That's right. You knew who. You didn't even have to have caller ID, bro. You just knew by the ring.
Yeah.
Hey, Seth's calling.
Yeah.
Hey, Kellen's calling.
Yeah, and so like that's like if you knew that was important or not, like if you like, especially if you put it for like that crush that you had back in the day, and you heard that come across, you were like,
that phone vibrating on your leg.
Snap.
You're like, oh God, that's that call I've been waiting for.
Petey Pablo.
Petey Pablo. Temperature though, that was. I think you had that one. I got that right.
Temperature. I may have had that one. I know a popular one that
my phone was full of them. I think I had Michael Jackson's "Beat It" at one point.
I'm trying to think of what I had. Mine was probably something stupid that I look back on now.
It went from like I remember when I first got them. I remember Josh telling me this. He was like, "Man, I remember you playing songs on your phone." And we were trying to figure out, you'd play it and you'd try to figure out who it was. Because remember, at first, it was just the beat.
Yeah.
And then it got to the full song. Where you
could because you had to get on, like, whatever, like, whatever carrier had back then, like AT&T, you had to get on there and, like, you would, like, look up all the text tones is what they called it. And you could do it like that. And
That's
so
right.
I think Ice Ice Baby was probably one of my favorites that I had.
Yeah, that was a good one. Ice Ice Baby was.
Here I am in 2002, listening to a song that came out in the 90s.
Yeah, what happened though? Like at some point, it became uncool to have like a ringtone. I don't remember that when that happened.
Millennials, I would say millennials.
But,
these don't care kind of type kids that.
I don't know if it was that or that's just how sort of. Society went. They just said, "Nah, we're done with these ringtones." But I don't like if I heard somebody had a ringtone now, I'd probably be like, "What the frick are we doing, bro?"
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Like, yeah,
it was like,
even when
it's like, oh, are we back in 08, bro? Like, what are we?
Yeah,
even
to
get a ringtone up in here.
Yeah, even when like
you just gotta have it.
People,
you gotta have just a ring.
Yeah.
Or a vibrate. Vibrates.
Yeah,
you're good with
vibrate's
vibrate.
pretty popular.
Of course, my ringtone now is kind of weird. I can't really say much about my ringtone, but yeah, I don't know when that happened. It was like one day it was like, man, you got to have every ringtone. Like you're always trying to one up somebody, and now it's like, what you got? You got a ringtone, bro? Kind of weird.
Yeah, like even when the new when the newer models of the iPhones came out,
that's probably when it started going down, when the iPhone really hit. I wasn't an iPhone guy for the longest. Like before the iPhone, I was BlackBerry mode.
Yeah, I had a BlackBerry too.
You did?
Yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah, it was all right.
And I had it wasn't a flip, but this was one of my favorite phones. It had the keypad on it. Like it had literally the numbers plus all the letters. So that was when texting was like at a high. There wasn't Snapchat. It was just it went from calling to, "Well, you calling me? Just text me."
Yeah. So I think what the companies did is that texting we got so big and everything like that. They were like,
"What's next?"
Well, instead of putting the numbers out there with the alphabet with them by the 3, you got to press it 3 times. So they just put the keyboards out there to make it that much easier.
Yeah, because I do remember texting, and you had that regular phone, and then, every number has got 3 letters on it where you got to
So if you wanted like C, you had to press the 2 button like
But then
3
they came out
times.
with that predicted text.
That predicted text changed the
Yeah,
game.
it
It
changed
changed
the
the game. It knew what you were saying.
It did.
Or like you could like even like before the iPhones like came out, you could like when the touch screens first came out, you could like draw your finger to each letter.
I never did that.
Well, I'm not saying you did it. No, I'm just
Oh.
saying it was something easier that you could do.
Yeah, well, they were always trying to make it simpler. And I don't know when, like, flip phones, like, if you got a flip phone now, you're like you're a caveman, bro. I mean, but
you're like my pop, you know.
yeah, if you got that
like-
flip phone now, you're getting looks in the grocery line. You're like, what the frick? You got a flip phone?
Simplest.
But I mean, like, it went from flip phones that's another thing that went out. Went from flip phones were cool, and you had that Razor, and then it just dropped off once the iPhone hit. It took everything down.
No, yeah, Steve Jobs like killed that.
They killed it. And then, I don't know. There's really no. I mean, I guess you could get I have an iPhone, but I guess you could get a Samsung. I heard that Google Pixel is nice. I just can't. I like to see when you text me, it's blue.
Yeah. You don't hit me with that green stuff, homie.
For real.
So like but they say the Android's like pretty popular, and the Galaxy Notes and all that, they're pretty popular and all that.
That's true. Is there anything else you miss from
childhood?
Yeah, from 90s or from. I feel like 90s is coming back a little bit, like the style, a little, maybe a little bit. I kind of miss. I don't know. I miss VHS tapes, even though obviously there's, better pictures now. And
dude, I mean, we don't even have to worry about like.
I have to worry about dick.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is like it went from VHS tapes to DVDs to now it's all streaming.
All streaming. Yeah. I'm just waiting for that one dude, that one dude to wipe it all out. Say I'm done with it. Send us back to the Stone Age.
Well,
hit us with an EMP, whatever it's called, electronic. I don't know what it's called. Wipe out the grid.
Yeah. Electronic magnetic pulse.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's Call of Duty talk.
Yeah, that is Call of Duty talking. But no, it's like me and my wife had a conversation about this when we moved into our new house. Like, I have tons of DVDs that I've collected from my childhood.
Do you watch them all? Probably not.
No, there's no way I'd watch them all.
No.
But I do have like DVDs that I keep because it's not always streaming what I want to watch. Like, nobody wants to watch Gilmore Girls 24/7. Something like that streaming that's popular on TV that I guess people watch. But, we had a big conversation about me getting rid of them because they're coming obsolete.
Maybe worth something someday. Better hang on to them.
Well, who's going to buy them?
I don't know. Maybe someone who's into that. I don't know. Maybe they like collecting DVDs. Some people buy. I don't know. Your trash is another man's treasure.
That's true.
You know
that
what I'm
is
saying?
definitely true. That is
why you go to the Goodwill? Why you go to the Goodwill?
Well, I don't go to the Goodwill, but
I go to the Goodwill. Why do you go to a secondhand shop? You don't buy somebody else's clothes? You too good?
No, it's not it at all. No, it's not it at all. The only time I go to the Goodwill is to drop off stuff.
Oh, it's happened like once.
Because it's a tax write-off.
Oh, dear God. Truth shall set you free. You can't handle the truth.
But no, I mean...
I might have bought some of your clothes. Didn't even know it.
No, my clothes won't fit you.
That's true.
Your arms are too big. But anyway, it's just... the stuff that we grew up with is becoming obsolete, and you don't want to get rid of it because it's part of your it's part of your, what you've loved your whole life.
Yeah, I did see we went to the Goodwill when I went and visited Mace's family in Minnesota this couple weeks ago.
You always going to thrift shops.
And then we went to a Goodwill, and it was like a VHS graveyard, dude. I mean, there was like, but you had all the good ones you can think of. You had Home Alone was up in there.
Ooh.
You had Liar Liar was up in there.
Ooh,
All them old VHS that every time you would see one, they're always the same, like Mrs. Doubtfire. You know what I'm talking about? You see those VHS and they're like all the same.
Yeah. I feel you. Yeah. It's all the same. But I'm torn.
Well, I like that grainy look. I don't know even if that makes sense, but you know that old sort of.
Yeah, that not crystal clear picture.
Right.
But now, I mean, you look at it today.
You wouldn't want to go back.
I mean, we've got 4K.
I don't even think.
TV.
Can you even see in 4K?
I don't know.
I don't even.
But
know.
we've got 4K
We've got
TVs,
it.
we've got curved TVs.
That's true.
I mean, it's
what's next?
It is.
How are they going to up their game now?
I
When you come out with 4K, we going to do it at 5K? I don't even know if that makes sense.
3.2 miles right there, baby. But this is
never
how
know.
much. This is how much technology has changed over the years. When you bought a TV back in the 80s and 90s, it had a tube in it, and you had to have somebody else help you.
Yeah.
Now,
But that sunbee lasted for a minute.
for a minute,
That lasted for like years. We still got that same TV in the
pool house.
pool house.
Yeah, and that's been
It's probably streaming, 480p, but
yeah.
it's solid.
But I mean, like
It
this
take you, me, and your 5 brothers to get that sucker unloaded.
That's true. Yeah, it's so like, and that's what I'm gonna say.
But now they make them where you throw them away. You buy it like you can't get it fixed. You might as well just buy a new TV.
Yeah, unless you're Chris and you think you know a place that fixes
Yeah,
TVs.
right, yeah. He's referencing. I had my TV at my house. It messed up. And then he was like, yeah, man, I know this place down. We went to a place downtown. There wasn't nobody there. There was like, somebody was, you
What was
heard
it
a
on?
dog barking in the background. You heard like people, selling meth. You just felt.
Yo, brother, can I get a little can I get a little bump today? Yo, come
That's
on,
what
brother.
You heard. And he was like, yeah, man, we go to this. There wasn't nothing there. It was like an old building. He was like, well, they used to be here. I'm like, yeah, back in 1988, maybe.
Yeah.
That's where your dad got his TV fixed. But, now they selling meth in here, bro.
Probably true.
We got to head up out of here.
Probably true. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it would, like, back in the 80s and 90s, it would take you and your brothers and a couple of friends to move a TV. But, like,
And you felt good.
But I bought a TV like 5 years ago, a 55-inch TV,
It's
and
obsolete, probably.
and I carried it by myself,
Yeah.
from the back of the store to the front of the store, put
No
it in my
problem.
car, never set it down. Like, that's how crazy TVs have gotten these days.
Yeah, everything's getting thinner.
Thinner.
They want you. Yeah, they just came out with a new MacBook, and it's like a piece of paper. Like, what you like? I don't like that. Like, I like to feel like I'm.
Touching something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want if I want paper, I'll go to Walmart and buy
some
250 sheets.
Yeah.
Whatever they come in. But I think we were just in that era to where we do appreciate where we came from. Not everybody, but I feel like we grew up in an era where we saw the transition from, all the stuff that we have now, whatever it may be, cell phones or whatever. But like I feel like now, kids these days, maybe there'll be something different, but they didn't grow up in that. What am I trying to say? That era where everything was just becoming new, like really breakthrough stuff. Maybe there'll be something else breakthrough that we don't know about yet, but I don't know.
See, our generation grew up with, like, we were a little bit older before all these technologies came out, like the phones. I mean, these kids that are growing up today, they grew up with phones in their
They
hands.
don't even know what it's like to not have one.
Yeah, exactly. If you took that away from them.
Well, my kid now, Nash, he's not even 2 yet, and then I may so put him in the back seat and put on a video. That way, if we're going somewhere, he doesn't, freak out or whatever. But like when we park the car, and I say, "All right, hand me the phone," he'll hit the home button so it closes the screen out. He already knows that. I'm like, "What the frick, dude? This is nuts."
Yeah, these kids are smart these days.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to turn into. You know, I feel like my kid's going to have this sort of symbiotic, this sort of oneness connection with technology that it's like anything. I feel like you grow up doing something, you just have it, you know. Whereas if you have to learn it at a later age, I mean, like, my mom will tell you she's good at using the computer, but like, I'll go over there in the middle of the night, she want me to fix something, it'll take me 2 seconds. And she's like been working on it for like 30 minutes. That was like me trying to set up this podcast, you know, a while back. And it took me forever to figure out how to get 2 audios on here.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying about the generational gaps and everything like that. You know, working with these iPhones, like, there'd be tons of times that I would have to help my dad or my mom or Lindy's parents or, you know, something like that, trying to figure out these phones. And I wouldn't necessarily say I grew up with it because...
But it was easy. Because you grew up at that time where it was...
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
enough about it.
Totally. And so, like, I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. I guess it's pretty much what you're saying, like, you know.
Well, I mean, it's like, I don't know, if you taught, think of it like swimming. If you taught like my grandma don't know how to swim, she ain't never going to learn how to swim. She's 77.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I think
you teach a 60-year-old person how to swim, they ain't going to pick it up that quick. You teach my son how to swim when he's 5, he'll be swimming in a week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I don't know if that's just like how, like, kids or younger people picked it up.
They're more malleable.
Yes.
What that means is like they're just more. They pick up stuff because they're like a sponge at that age. You know, like their brains haven't fully developed. They're still always taking in new information. Whereas when you're in your 60s, your brain's you're shutting it down. I mean, you got windows. And,
that's true.
And light switches going out all the time.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I
mean, even at my age, like
you feel like some switches are going out.
Yeah, totally. Like, I feel like it all the time. Some switches are going out. Like, I just don't have the concentration that I used to.
Yeah, but you never were that focused in. Maybe on your sports, but not like in, you know, technological stuff or your
it may have just
schoolwork.
It just
been
a bit
done, but
it must have been the ADD.
Yeah, well, that's another thing we can talk about some other time. I think kids, they're so drugged up nowadays. You know, I don't care what my kid supposedly had. Well, he's not in school yet, but like hypothetically, let's just say once he's going into kindergarten and one of the teachers says, you know, he's just so hyper. I'm just gonna be like, well, you better deal with it. You know, I'm not gonna put him on no Ritalin and have him like a zombie.
Yeah, so, you know, were you?
I was ADD.
Well, I mean, when we were growing up, were you on anything?
No. But what were you on?
Ritalin.
Did it make you feel weird?
Yeah, I mean, it made me tired and not want to eat and all that. I mean, it just took me out of it.
Yeah, that's like the new, I don't know. That's like the new thing. Like, if we can't, there's going to be, I feel like there's going to be a pill for anything, you know?
Yeah, except losing weight.
And then that pill will have, for every pill, there's always like a negative effect. Like, you take one pill to stop your nose from running, it's going to, you know, you're going to be shatting for a week or something like that.
Yeah, you know? I love it. Like, you see these, like, things on TV, and it talks about, like, how it's going to, like, let's just talk about, I don't know, quit drinking or something like that. There's a pill for quit drinking.
Or smoking.
Yeah, or that. But it's got all these side effects. Like, you might as well just keep drinking and smoking just to do it.
Yeah, just to avoid these other side effects.
Like it's like
we'll help
nausea.
you quit, you know, smoking and drinking, but you better take some liver stuff because you're gonna be dead in a week.
Yeah, I mean, it's these like nausea, like anal leakage, like you know, all this.
That reminds me of that.
All this crazy stuff.
That reminds me of that bit by Cat Williams where he's talking about taking that weed and he's like, it's called death. He's like, I don't want to be deaf, boy. you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. Pimpin' be pimpin'.
Either that or it was Pimp Chronicles. I don't know which one it was.
It's probably no.
Anyways, he was talking about weed and how, you know, he's like, the weed just keep getting stronger, you know, and they got this new stuff out called Death. He's like, man, I got stuff I gotta do, bro. But that's how it is. You know, every pill, everything nowadays is just in excess, you know. Everything's just more and more and more and tacking on. And I do think people are going to a little bit of a minimalist lifestyle. What I mean is I think I think people are awakening a little bit to maybe not spending their money so much on things and maybe spending them more on like experiences, like going out. Or you think people are still in that mind frame of toys, like what can I buy?
I really think it's mostly how you're raised,
Maybe. Yeah.
or
A
like
little bit of both. What you had growing up.
yes, that's a big thing between me and Lindy. You know, I grew up not having a lot, and so now that
You
I
didn't have a little. I mean, you weren't like
I wasn't like
eating out
dirt poor,
eating crumbs off the.
but brother, I lived in a crappy neighborhood.
What?
Just kidding. No, but you know, I mean, my parents got divorced when I was 7.
Right.
So, you know, I had to deal with that, and everybody's like,
you don't know how that affects you.
Yeah,
I don't know how that would affect me.
not that, just like the money income and everything like that. You know, and like I said, I didn't grow up with a lot. And
Single parent for a while.
yeah, I mean, me and my dad didn't have a relationship from the time, from 16 to you know, just in the past, few years. Yeah, man. And so, you know, your single mother depends, you know, you depend on that, and you don't get a lot. And I'm not saying I went without food or clothes on my back, but just the other stuff, like the
extra.
Yeah, like I could never go out and buy a gaming console or
Just on a whim.
Yeah, just on a whim. Yeah,
You get it for like Christmas.
Yeah,
And that would be it.
yeah. But you know, and now that I have money and that,
You kind of want to splurge a little bit.
yeah, I'm financially set. You know, I do like to spend money.
Yeah.
And Lindy is not like that. Like,
Kellen likes to break the piggy bank.
every now and then, every now and then.
Piggy bank. I hear you, dude.
But I try to buy stuff that
you feel like you're gonna use.
Yeah, like I just bought a new gun the other day. Like, I mean, that gun's not. I mean, if it breaks, it's under warranty right now. But I mean, if that thing lasts me 15 years, I mean, that's money well spent.
And it's only gonna gain in value.
Yes. And
Well, to what you're saying, I think it sort of depends on what you spend your money on. Like some people, you know, they buy. It just amazes me what some people will buy, and then, or speaking to that same sort of note, like what some people spend their money on that they don't have the money, and that's all they can afford. Like somebody, you know, you're always hearing about, or not always hearing about, but you hear about the person that's got this nice car, but they living in a trailer. You know, like, what are we doing? Our priorities are a little...
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I mean, if
they just want flex.
I mean, if that's the way they want to live, I mean...
Yeah, maybe that.
But I don't want to hear no bitching out of you after that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have money to go out, like... Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to drive a BMW and live in a double wide, like, that's fine.
Whatever, yeah.
I mean, but I don't want to hear
different strokes, different folks.
Yeah, I don't want to hear you bitching after that. I don't know. It's
well, I mean, like you said, you buy a gun. If you buy something you know they're going to use, it makes more sense. But like some people buy stuff that, you know, maybe they use, and I feel like it's more like, not to go off on a tangent here, but like I see people come in here. You know, we're sitting in a tuxedo shop right now, and I see like a trophy wife, for example, and she don't work, and she's got a big old Escalade, you know, and she don't do shat all day. She don't do nothing all day, and I mean maybe she hit the jackpot. I don't know. Maybe I just can't see. You know, like I want to support my wife, but I don't want her like, and she's not. She's very frugal like me, but I don't get. I guess some people, I feel like what I'm trying to say is I feel like people just go from one item to the next item to the next item thinking that it's going to make them happy, and it never
Never really does.
I mean, not to get too deep into the psychology of it, but just how much happiness people get off of these commodities, whether it be a new TV or a new Xbox or a new whatever it is. I feel like people like the moments I treasure in my life the most are not in things, but like the experiences that I had with you and the experiences that I had with my friends. Like I do look back on those experiences and think, man, we had fun playing Xbox or whatever. But
yeah. But that Xbox was a little glimpse of the big picture.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And it was just one of the many things that you can get. I mean, if you go on a trip with somebody, I feel like you'll have more memories, versus whatever it may be. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. We're at like 50 some odd minutes. Did you have any? I feel like this was a lot of nostalgia today. I feel like we hit on some good things. I don't know, maybe we didn't.
Yeah, maybe. We're just kind of going with it.
Just go with it, man. Yeah. That's what it's about. Yeah, I don't really know of any closing thoughts, any takeaways, anything. I guess the takeaway would be, let's all go back to flip phones and big TVs. Maybe that's my takeaway. If we could just get back to that, I don't know, that feeling of having the flip phone. Maybe I am just searching for something that doesn't exist. Maybe it's just all nostalgia.
Yeah, I would say
I wouldn't want to go back. Let's just be real. I wouldn't want to go back.
I don't think I could. I really don't. I don't think I could. It's become
a part of you.
Yeah, so I don't think I can go back.
You leave your phone at your house, you're like, oh, God.
Yeah, your heart drops.
You're like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you can't live without it. Yeah, you can't live without it.
So, yeah, I think, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you got any final thoughts? Nothing?
Nope, but thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we'll be able to do it again. As long as I can pay the bills on these podcast hosts, I think we'll be good.
Yep.
So, all right. Thanks, guys, for listening. This is the Just Go With podcast. Later.